This video will examine the Tools drop-down menu. First thing you see is the scratch pad, which is simply just a place for your ideas as you go along through the day. The second thing is an item checkout report. This helps you keep track of who has what piece of equipment or music or whatever. Let's just do a complete report. We can do it by person, by library, or date range. But let's go ahead and just check it as an overview. And here's the checkout report. Here are 2 items from the Octavo library and 2 items from the equipment library. When it's checked back in, there it is, and you have all the information in front of you. The next item is indexing files. Once you have made a lot of changes or you've deleted some files, it's best to go back in and index. So we'll do that. We'll just simply say OK to this, and you'll notice the indexing going on up in the upper right hand corner. And it's complete. The attendance synchronization we'll talk about under Personnel and the attendance functions. Backup and restore. The only thing I would say here is that you need to know specifically where you're going to back up the data. It's a good idea to back up often so you have the data. It would also be a pretty good idea to back up to a disk or something else. A case in point is Katrina. Anyone who has our program will get a free program if they've lost the previous version. But if they've backed up to a disk or something off-site, they can immediately have all of their records there. The import Excel data means that if you have information in an Excel file, you can immediately import it into the Church Musician. Again, this is one of those functions we'll talk about a little bit later. We can rebuild reports, and we can refresh the reports. In other words, if you've made a change in it and you want to refresh it, or you can actually rebuild the report by going over here and modify reports, modify labels, and so forth. Again, we'll cover that in the label printing video. Now here is where you edit your user lists. The Church Musician comes with many arrangers, authors, composers listed, but of course you may take and change those, delete any of them or add to them in this particular function. If you want to add to it, we simply do a blank screen here and add it up here. Back again to that edit user list. We have a whole series of difficulties here, but you may want to add to that or make some changes in it. And of course, again, you may edit all of those files. Go back to that again. Special days, the same thing. Topic list, voicings. You can also edit field names for the personnel. And there are actually 5 fields that you can change. Let's change this one to instrument. And now within the personnel file, it'll show you a field in which you can put instrument. This is very useful because many times a stock program does not have all the fields you would like, and of course this adds fields. The same thing with the fields for the libraries. There's 3 fields that you can change. Back again to the edit user fields. Here you will need to define your ensemble. In this demo I'm using, you'll find there are many ensemble names, but frankly I'm sure I would not use all of these. So let's say I want to delete celebration. Well, I can't because someone is in that, in our personnel file. But let's delete the first press here, and there it's gone. Now, again, event types, the 11 a.m. service, or whatever type of service or event that you would want to list. Among other things, I'd probably list the Christmas program and the Easter program and so forth. Then finally, we'll define sections. And generally speaking, we'd have soprano and alto. Let's add alto here. Well, it's already there. So alto, bass, director, none, soprano, tenor. It is important to have none because many times you don't have sections in your ensembles. The UPC scan input, this is where there's a UPC barcode on the music itself, and you can scan that. Again, we're going to have a whole video on scanning, and we'll cover that at that time. The mass delete, if you want to delete one certain library or a whole group of things, you can decide which library you're going to delete. Sometimes you have data that you want to completely get rid of, so this is a delete function there. Conversion, when you convert from Church Musician 3-point or 4-point or 4.5, this automatically brings in the data from that field. This pretty well covers the items listed under Tools.